No hyperbole here. That was the worst loss I've ever seen in my entire life.
You are Locked On Marlins, your daily podcast on the Miami Marlins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Marlins. I'm your host, Jeremiah Geiger. I've been podcasting about the Marlins for 3 seasons now. Go hit me up on X at Jeremiah Geiger 2. And thank you for making Locked On Marlins your first listen of the day. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is your team every day. Don't forget to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel and let me know your thoughts about this Marlins loss to the Colorado Rockies in the comments section. This episode, before we get into it, is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first order. This was awful. Awful, inexcusable, pathetic. There are so many words I could use to describe this game. It was a must-win series, and you start off on the wrong foot. The Marlins lose 6-4 to the Colorado Rockies, which up to this point had won 9 baseball games. The entire season. 9. They were 9-50 entering this one. They don't have talent. They don't have anything. And the Marlins lost at home on their home turf. Can't happen. You can't start a series like that. I don't even care if the Marlins go out and win the next 2. And you better hope they do. You better hope you don't become the first team to lose a series to what is the worst team in the history of professional baseball. Because that's what the Colorado Rockies are. You got to take care of business. You dropped 2 out of 3 to the Giants. The offense was abysmal. And in this one, yeah, they got some hits. They put up some runs. They put up 4 runs. But there was no sense of clutchness throughout this lineup. 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. 3 for 16. 9 left on base. I talk about this team needing the timely hit. Yes, they need slug. They need those doubles and those home runs. But this lineup just isn't going to bring in all those homers. And they had, let's see here, Sanchez doubled twice, Hicks doubled, Stowers doubled, Myers doubled, Otto Lopez doubled. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 doubles in this game. 3 for 16 left on base. They only put up 4 runs. But the lineup's not the worst of the worries right now for this team. It's really not. I know Kyle Stowers, he hit a double, and that's good. I hope he breaks out of this mini slump that he's been in. Jesus Sanchez had a 3-hit night. He hit 2 doubles, 112, 113 miles an hour. You've seen the ball really good. But the issue in this one starts and ends with Max Meyer. Forget a 6-man rotation. Eury Perez is going to make his final rehab start, I believe, on Thursday. He's going to be up in the Marlins rotation very, very soon, probably next week. And the Marlins are going to have to make a decision. How are you going to incorporate Eury Perez into the rotation? Well, could you do a 6-man rotation? Whose spot does he take? It's time to start talking about Max Meyer and the brilliant start to the season that many of us were swept up in, myself included. I was promoting the Max Meyer All-Star campaign. This was the season he finally broke out and became the pitcher that they drafted, that they envisioned when they took him with the 3rd overall pick back in 2020. He's regressed back to the mean. No, he's regressed beyond the mean. He's gone backwards. Max Meyer has gone completely backwards. Nothing is working. Listen to this stat line against the 9-50 Colorado Rockies, by the way. Horrible. They're horrible. This lineup, I saw a tweet earlier. When you look at it from a WRC plus perspective, in terms of hitting against right-handed pitchers on the road, it's in the low 50s. The average WRC plus is 100, by the way. It's like facing a bunch of Tim Andersons. 5 innings. Took him 77 pitches, 10 hits, 5 runs, 4 were earned, walked 1, struck out 5, gave up 2 bombs. Here's the most telling stat. The fastball sinker threw the 4-seam 13 times, threw the sinker 10 times. Got 2 whiffs combined. His fastball is not good enough to be a consistent pitch as a starting pitcher. It's not a good pitch. It's not a good fastball. And he's going to throw the slider. He's going to throw the changeup. And you know what? Hitters are going to adjust. They are going to adjust to the slider. They know what's coming. They know you're going to throw that because the fastball is so bad. It has no induced vertical break. It's just a flat beeline towards the plate at 95. And every single major league hitter, yes, even if you're on the Colorado Rockies, can turn on 95. Hunter Goodman, we made him look like Barry Bonds tonight. He was 3 for 5, 2 homers, 3 RBIs. I mean, credit to Goodman. He was great. Marlins have to do better. Max Meyer has to be better. And with the return of Yuri Perez, I know it's name value. Max Meyer, he had that 14 strikeout game against Cincinnati. Since that start, which was back April 21st. So we're a good solid month and a half pushing that when Yuri comes back. Month and a half away from that. If we look at Yuri coming back next week. 7 starts. 7.11 ERA, 34 2/3 innings, and get this, 47 hits. He's given up 10 hits in a game now twice. And this was against the worst lineup in baseball by far. Does that not concern you? I mean, the whole crashing down from a potential all-star and stud pitcher who you can build around, he's looking worse over his last 7 starts than he did ever in 2024. It's bad stuff. And I think the book's out on Max Meyer. In terms of being a successful pitcher, he has to make a major adjustment to either be a sinker guy, exclusively sinker 2-seam, because that 4-seam is not going to work. And when you only throw your slider every single game, we've seen him mislocate it, and that will get hit out of the ballpark. It's not an invincible pitch. He can't use it to get out of every single situation. And now we're seeing teams catch up to him. He's going backwards. Yuri Perez is on the way up. They're going to have a tough decision to make. Do you option Max Meyer? Do you... What do you do? Do you just hope he turns it around? I mean, this was the ultimate turnaround game. You were facing the Colorado Rockies. I wanted to trade for Max Meyer to stream in fantasy baseball, and thank goodness I didn't, because that would have been awful. They have decisions to make. But as for right now, the agenda certainly seems to be over. There is another important start tomorrow. Sandy Alcantara is going to take the mound against the Rockies. And right now, there's no guarantees with anything when it comes to Sandy. But I'm going to discuss why I think this start is so important for the rest of the season. More than any other start to date. That's coming up right after this. This episode is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their website is easy to use. They got all the latest information about the products, and they got all the products. Over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. So you'll find exactly what you look for. And when you order it, it's going to be delivered fast. There's no major wait. There's no conundrum with waiting to get it shipped to you, even if you live far away, because they do coast-to-coast shipping. It's really cool. And if you need help with an order, you just want to confirm, get some security when it comes to your materials and inventory, then call them, because there's no robots. You'll talk to a real person each and every time. Supply House takes that pride in their expert support and industry-leading service. And you know what? If you're a professional, you're looking for that extra edge, go ahead and join their free Trade Master program, because you get exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are taking advantage, and now it's your turn. So join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. If you're an everyday listener, I do appreciate you being part of the Locked On Marlins crew. If this is your first time getting to hear me talk about the Marlins, hit that subscribe button, and hopefully the Marlins don't lose to the Rockies again in what will be Sandy Alcantara, and another opportunity for him taking the mound. And hopefully this is the ultimate get-right game. Didn't work for Max Meyer, but it really matters for Sandy Alcantara, because we look at the Marlins in terms of rebuilding and the trade chips that they have. There really isn't many. Going into this season, it was Sandy Alcantara, and then you're going to have a few scattered bullpen pieces here and there. The bullpen always deals them off like that. Bullpen is always a necessity or a required commodity at the trade deadline. And I'm sure the Marlins and Peter Bedniks are going to work one or two trades with some bullpen arms. But the big fish to fry was trading Sandy Alcantara. It seemed like it was a done deal. In fact, heading into the season, I would have told you 100%, 99.9% he would have been traded. That 0.1% was either injury or exactly what's happened now, a catastrophic fallout from the baseball graces, because Sandy has been horrible. And now he gets the worst lineup, a horrible lineup at home. There is no excuse for Sandy Alcantara. And if he performs well, like dominant 6-7 shutout innings, the stuff grades out well, he's locating his spots, he's getting a ton of whiffs, then that agenda is going to come right back up. Where, all right, Sandy looked really good. He had a really rough start to the season. Can he get into a groove? And then you watch the next start. And if he can continue to piece it together, this is the perfect game for that stepping stone to get away with all the junk and all the bad games, get right versus the Rockies, and continue moving forward. Because I guarantee you, if he pitches good, he pitches well, the trade interest is going to be sparked. We're going to start hearing his name again, and the agenda will be alive and well. Now, here's the issue. I thought Max Meyer was going to dominate the Rockies. He didn't. Far from it. 10 hits allowed. 5 runs. 4 earned. What if something like that, or something even worse, happens with Sandy Alcantara? What then? Let's say he goes out and he has another clunker. Can't get out of the 5th inning. You know, he might pitch well 1 or 2 innings, and then that That third inning gives up a run. That fifth inning, it just all comes crashing down. And it's the same story. If that happens versus the Rockies, then Sandy's not getting traded, period. At least until the offseason. And you have to ask yourself internally, is he even remotely close to being the same pitcher as before? Will he ever return to the glory of being a Cy Young contender and a Cy Young winner? It's must-watch baseball if you're a Marlins fan. I know the Marlins are well under 500. The Rockies are awful. No other baseball fan is probably sitting at home tomorrow saying, you know what, I'm going to watch the Rockies and the Marlins. That sounds awesome. Now, if you're a Marlins fan, you have to, because this is so important for Sandy Alcantara. It's so important for him as a pitcher, regaining his confidence. It's so important for the Marlins and his trade value. This is must-watch baseball. Tune in. And here's the other point of this. Sandy Alcantara knows it's the Rockies. He knows it. He knows they're 9-50. No, excuse me. Now they're 10-50, courtesy of your Miami Marlins. Now they're 10-50. He knows they're 40 games under 500. He studies these lineups. He knows the strengths, the weaknesses. He's not going to come into this game ill-prepared. So, if the arm's healthy, the velocity's there, it's going to come down to execution. How do you prepare? How do you execute? Because on paper, Sandy Alcantara, the Cy Young winner, should dominate this team. But that's on paper. On paper, Sandy Alcantara shouldn't have an ERA over 8. So, stats don't really matter in this scenario. It's about execution. Sandy has to. If he doesn't, and the Marlins don't trade him, no, if he does, and he gets in a role, and the Marlins continue to lose a few games, but Sandy Alcantara pitches well, and he rebuilds his trade stock at the deadline, how many players do you think are going to be traded from the Marlins? Will it just be Sandy? Will it be Jesus Sanchez? Could it be somebody like Kyle Stowers? Yes, Kyle Stowers potentially getting traded. I have some very strong thoughts on the Marlins just trading away everyone. And the rumors that are associated with this team are so tiresome. I'm going to talk about it right after this. And this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. There we go. Got the graphic on there. You ever check your bank account and you wonder, where did all my money go? Between entertainment, dining out, online shopping, going to the movies, whatever you like to do in your free time, you can lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. But it's not just a budgeting app. It's a personal financial command center. You can track all your accounts, your investments, and your spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. Monarch Money is really good. For example, if you like food delivery, you like DoorDash, Uber Eats, you just want to go get a snack, and sometimes it's easy to forget. That's what happens to me. I don't really remember or keep track how much I'm spending on those DoorDash deliveries. Monarch Money takes care of that for you. You can budget smarter and save more. And you don't have to have all those multiple apps. You can just use Monarch to check your finances, track your spending, and then you can plan long-term goals. So you're set up for success in the future as well. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's right. 50% off, guys. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. A reminder, we're not just on the YouTube channel, although if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button for me. We're also on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, pretty much any major podcast platform out there. So if you like Marlins, you want the newest news and rumors when it comes to this team, Locked On Marlins is the place for you. And I'm thinking to myself here, as we are now in June, it's June 2nd, early June. The trade deadline's about 2 months away. Marlins are going to have to make some decisions. I talked about Sandy Alcantara, but who else could potentially be on the trade block? I saw this article and I clipped it, and I'm just going to read what it says here. Just a part of it. Stowers isn't even arbitration eligible. He's talking about Kyle Stowers as a potential trade candidate. So any trade demand by the Marlins would be substantial and could decrease the chances of a trade. But one prominent rival executive believes they'll try to get value for anyone, perhaps with the exception of Agustin Ramirez and Yuri Perez, and the interest in Stowers should be widespread. And that was written by, now I don't know who the GM is. It's just an executive. But that was posted. There was a big article. And I don't have the name of the author pulled up, but have some shame. Have some shame. Not just the author, but the rest of baseball. To that executive. Why is this being treated like just a feeder system for other teams? Do fans realize this? Are you guys tracking what I'm tracking here? The fact that I have to read an excerpt from an article saying Kyle Stowers could be on the trade block this summer. He's pre-arbitration. He hasn't hit ARB. He's making, in the grand scheme of things, nothing. You know, Sandy Alcantara, we talk about that being a team-friendly deal. He's making $17 million a year. Kyle Stowers isn't even making $1 million. What are we doing here? Why do people find it okay to just, we're going to trade them. Let's just trade everyone. Hey, we just got you last year in a trade, Connor Norby, Kyle Stowers, but we're going to trade you because we could get prospects. That is just a skewed way of looking at the sport of baseball, and especially looking at the Miami Marlins, and I'm tired of it. I am not anti-prospect. I love prospects. You know, growing up, the trade deadline was my favorite part, and even when the Marlins suck, as they usually did my entire life, finding out who the prospects we got were and everything like that. But you just traded for these guys last year. How can you even consider trading him? And maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Maybe this isn't targeted toward Peter Bendix or the Marlins front office, because I don't know their plans until it happens. But the fact that this is even a possibility and being brought up in sports media channels and circles and articles and fans, our own fan base, have some shame. I'm okay with Kyle Stowers getting traded. He's 27. He's not going to be part of the long-term plans. When do you expect this rebuild to end exactly? Because last time I checked, 2027 is in 2 years from now. The Marlins made the playoffs in 23 and broke the team up, because after 23, unless they added to the major league roster, nothing was going to come out of 2024. And they broke it up in May of 2024. When Luis Arias got traded, that was it. That signified the rebuild was on the way. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 4 years later, 4 seasons later, the Marlins aren't going to be good? Give me a break. That should be the expectation. I want to see this team show signs of competition next season in 2026. Why are we so complacent with with the ownership, with the front office, and with the idea of a rebuild. Do you want to be in purgatory forever? Baseball purgatory forever? That's what this rebuild would be. Sowers, absolutely. Now, I know he's struggling. Okay, he can adjust. He's had a great year up to this point. He's had a great first couple of months. He hits the ball extremely hard. I'm not going to bash on him and say, well, I guess it was a fluke because of one rough stretch. Hitters are entitled to that. Now, let's just trade him. Why? Connor Norby. Well, he's good, but imagine the haul we could get back for him. Ryan Weathers. Ryan Weathers is here for a while. He's still got team control, but he's good. That's the thing. He's good. And the Marlins, we need to trade our good players. I'm looking up Ryan Weathers' contract right now just to see exactly when he was a free agent, if it was 2027 or 2029. He's going to be a free agent in 2029, by the way. 2026, he'll be an ARB1. So 2029, we're talking about half decade later. But you're going to see fans who literally think Ryan Weathers could be shopped this season because it's going to get you a haul. When do you build around certain guys? Who do you have to be considered a long-term fixture on this team? Yuri Perez, Augustine Ramirez. Sure, I agree with you. But here's the thing. Yuri Perez has 19 starts in a major league uniform. He's still very, very young. Augustine Ramirez just made his major league debut. Those guys have superstar potential. But we have to just take it slow, too, when it comes to them. You also have Ryan Weathers. You have Connor Norby. You have good players. This team is incomplete. I understand that. The farm still needs to be strengthened, but you don't build continuity with a team by just giving up on everyone and trading them away at the first sign of value. Enough is enough. Would I extend Yuri Perez and Augustine Ramirez? I wouldn't mind extending both of them to a team-friendly deal. Here's the thing. Would Yuri Perez accept a team-friendly deal? Or does he bet on himself? I'm a little bit nervous for this season how Yuri Perez handles the return from Tommy John surgery. But in 2026, we could be looking at the emergence of one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. His first full season removed from Tommy John surgery. So Yuri Perez should be a candidate for extension. And so should Augustine Ramirez. In order to get out of this rebuild, it's going to take spending money. But you also have to figure out who's going to be part of your 2027 plans. You can't trade everyone away. And that's my spiel on this team and the fan base in particular, when it comes to rebuilding. Got to expect more out of your team, guys. So, 2 more games against the Rockies. Again, the worst team in the history of baseball. You're on pace to lose, I don't even know, 100 and something games. Definitely to win less than 30, which is absolutely wild that I'm even saying this. In 2025, a professional baseball team should not be on pace to win less than 30 games. I mean, that's 20 less than 50. Math is hard, but 50 losses is abysmal. 60 losses is abysmal. We're talking less than 30. Gotta win this series. There is no excuse. If this Marlins team shows up flat, they don't do their job, they don't play with energy, they give away at-bats, then they can lose this series. and we're going to have some uncomfortable conversations regarding the players involved in those games. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, and the Marlins go out and dominate the Colorado Rockies. I appreciate you guys listening. As always, stay safe, stay locked on, and let's go fish.